Okay, my fellow Earthlings, today is 2024, 8th of August, and it's exactly 1 year since I came out of that meditation resort. It's a picture of the so-called prison I was in. I lived in that room all the way to that side up there, and I had this view over Kongsvinger. I was sitting there for a year and thinking, painting, drawing, writing, crying a little bit, watching a lot of junk TV, meeting a lot of strange people, and yeah, so I made one video earlier when I came out, my prison story. And I thought I was going to make a follow-up on that and tell you how this year has been. And it kind of didn't turn out basically how I thought. But one thing I want to ask before I go any further. I have problems getting into the algorithm, and I have over 2,500 followers on my channel. So it would be highly appreciated if the ones of you who actually see this video give it a thumbs up, leave a comment, and maybe even tell me what you think, but just say hi or something. But thumbs up is very important because it helps me to get into the algorithm. And since you are following my channel, I guess you're into painting. So if you could share my painting videos on social media, at least give me a thumbs up, leave a comment and stuff like that, would really help. And if you by any chance want me to teach you how to paint, go to PATRON and pick a tier, and I will, to the best of my abilities, help you the best that I can. You can also add me on Facebook. There's a link in description. And there's also a link to Patreon, and I will soon add buy me a coffee. So if you like to support me but don't want to be a patron, you can just buy me a coffee for every video I make, or something you like, or if you just want to give something back. So with that out of the way, I'm gonna try to tell you how this year has been. It's not gonna be too long, hopefully. Now that bloody camera went off for some reason. No, it didn't go off. It's actually just, yeah, it just took away that you know, the screen. So it just turned off and went back. So there's something wrong with the camera. I actually need a new camera. Anyway, what happened was when I came out, I was just so hyper. I had been fighting for a year to kind of balance myself. And what actually happened was basically being in there. And this was a low security place with a lot of out space, good gym, relatively good food, a lot of funny people. I worked as a carpenter and a painter, and I did my own stuff in the evenings. But there was a struggle you have to kind of turn yourself off or become more cerebral, or you have to be more introspective. Or was it actually more easy to be more introspective? Because the situation were limited, so it actually basically killed most of my hypomania. It took out my ADHD. It made me focused, and it's almost like sometimes I'm sitting here now, I kind of miss it because it was so easy at the same time as it was very restrictive, and you actually want to get out of there. I wouldn't go back, of course, but what has been a problem is that I was so focused that I thought, now finally I will be razor focused. I will take this experience with me out, and I will do exactly the same thing and have my freedom on top. And it didn't last very long until I started to be up too late, sleep too long in the evening, maybe started to eat a little bit more sugar, started to become stressed out, and because I couldn't get that much done as I actually thought I was going to do. And at some point I kind of just became a little bit depressed. It's almost like you have been in this hypermania situation without the mania, or you have been in this fighting mode for a year, and you come out and you now have to control all your demons. And it's been a very strange experience. Luckily, being in there, of course, made me capable of getting the heartbreak out of the system. And when I was on permission, 7th of May, I met a very nice girl, and it was just one of these things, you just meet somebody and it's just, you just know that you want to meet them again, and she felt the same thing. And I met her every time when I went on permission, and we just kept going. And 7th of May this year, we went into a relationship, and I will say it's the first real relationship I've been in since I was 16 years old, because all my other relationships has been more, she just fell on my lap and I hooked up with her, and I went with her for a couple of years or something, but I was not really in it in any sense of the word. And the thing I had before I went into prison was basically just quite a weird situation, because I had found some peace. Then I met that girl, and she basically changed so much in personality all the time that she slowly made me weaker. And when I went into the prison, I was just totally heartbroken. But it's a story that will never be told. But the point is that going into that situation with the heartbreak was even worse. But as I said in the former video, it was even really a good thing too, because I had to face everything. Okay. So luckily I was able to do most of the grieving work before I met this new girl. So I was actually, it was over, it was just over. So I didn't change one for the other. It wasn't like that at all. It was just, actually I thought I would just stay alone for the rest of my life, and just do my thing, do my art and do my thing. And me meeting this girl has been a very strange experience, because I didn't think I was actually ever going to go into a relationship again. What I notice, of course, is that being in a relationship demands that you actually give of yourself to this person, and you have to adjust, you have to give of your time, which is of course your life, and you have to give honesty and all these kinds of things. And me being what they say, villbass, me being very hyper kind of type of guy, it's a thing that I have to work on, okay? So that's also, of course, a new thing. But it's a good thing, okay? It's a good thing, don't get me wrong. It's a good thing. The thing is that has been the strangest is to see how fast I went back to my procrastination, and how my ADHD came back, and how I have had problems focusing. But at this point now, I've kind of gone through that also. So now I'm starting to feel that I'm on the right track again. You know, I've done a lot of things. I've basically kept in shape. I've done painting, and I've always had problems starting up doing the painting. But when I start, it's just the love of my life. So it's not that. But in prison, it was so easy because there was basically the thing I did. I didn't want to watch football or play cards, or I played a lot of chess, of course, which I haven't done since I was in there, sadly. But seeing myself falling into the same traps that I always had, when I thought it would be so easy to be that focused, it's strange. And it almost pisses me off, because it's almost like I have a brain. You know, I have my lust and I have my reason, and I have all the things in between there, and the lust overrides the reason when I get my freedom. Freedom for a person like me is actually very hard. It's really difficult for me to be free, to do whatever I want. Of course, I can't do whatever I want because I have a girlfriend now, but you know what I mean. Or I would say I can't do whatever the ape want, okay? I can't do whatever the ape want. I don't say what I want, because the difference between what my ape brain want and what I want is two absolutely different things. They collide in my brain all the time. And being in prison have shown me that so clearly. So I kind of have learned so much about myself, about the difficulty connecting the ape and my reason. It's almost like I have some sort of split personality disorder, but it's not that. It's just that I see it. Everyone around, look at the obesity epidemic. Look at how people use sex and attention and everything they can use to not see themselves, okay? And most people doesn't even see themselves. I would say there was some people in there that were really intelligent and really had this introspection part, but most of them didn't have that much total honest introspection. And that's also why most people fall back into the bad habits. But then I know that seeing myself so clearly, and despite knowing these things, seeing these things, being conscious of these things, it is really hard to do the right thing. And of course I have to empathize with people that have borderline personality disorder or covert narcissism or stuff like that, which has been traumatized in childhood, and they change personality all the time because they don't really see themselves. And if they have small blips of introspection, it will actually work as more like a trauma. They will feel traumatized by their own thoughts or meeting their own shortcomings. Luckily, being in there gave me an even deeper capability of seeing what's wrong and how to fix it. And how do you fix it? Well, one, you have to have a schedule. Two, you have to ignore the ape. That's very important. Ignore the ape. And you have to listen to that inner voice that's tell you. The inner voice, when your inner voice whispers or shouts no when you are about to do something, you should listen to it. Because that inner voice comes from the human part of you. It comes from what makes us human. Okay? So listen to it. If you do that, if I do that, I will slowly chip off all the things that holds me down. And I will finally be able to grow into the person that I should be, the person that I want to be, and the person that I actually am. So, to say how was this year? It was a year in chaos, in a way. But maybe it was a necessary chaos. It was as necessary as a downfall when I was arrested, or being in trial, or facing my shame, facing the heartbreak, facing my own. Through that again, I had to face how I have treated girls early in my life, because I've been like that, you know. And that also gives me the power not to do the same mistake with the one I love now. So, all in all, I guess this year has been strange in the sense that I really had to face the fact that it won't be that easy to take control over the ape, okay? Because my ape is huge, and my reason is, how is it? You know, when Germany invaded Russia in the Second World War, they said it was like an elephant tramping on a huge ant den. Okay. In the beginning, the ape, See, look at it as an ape. Look at the brain. Your brain is this ant den. Okay, with all the neurons. There comes the ape, and he stamps on this, he stamps on it, you know, on the ant. And the ants has to rebuild over and over again, but they get stronger or smarter, and they start to recognize when the ape is coming. And in the end, they build such a hard den or good den that he won't be able to trample all over them again. And that is basically what I'm going to do or are doing. I have to shift. I have to basically rewire my brain so that the ape or the elephant can't really screw it up so much. So there's so much to learn all the time in life, you know. It's so many things. It never ends in a way. So yeah. About that elephant that went into when the Germans said sooner or later the ants will eat the elephant, okay, because he can't kill them all. So, and that was what happened, and that is basically what happening to me now. I haven't planned. I have an idea of what I should talk about today. Maybe you find it interesting. Maybe you're an artist who's struggling with the same things. Maybe you're an alpha male who wants to basically have all the women in the world, and you have problem being in a relationship because you have a promiscuous personality disorder. But what would be the point to let the ape ruin something beautiful just because it needs it right now? And that is why you have to focus in the right way. You mustn't let yourself be derailed by the ape, because the ape is not you. The human part is the part who's doing the right thing, who is focusing on the right things. And for me, it's love, it is my art, it is life, and it is just being in a moment, loving. Yeah, just love life. Soon it will be over anyway. Then there's no drug in the world that will stop the sun from going supernova. Sooner or later, the universe will take us out. We can live for 1 billion years, but it will sooner or later. Even God, if there was a God, you can ask the question, can God think himself out of existence? And in eternity or infinity, he would probably already have done it. Because no being could live forever. No conscious being could live forever. Despite I would like to stop the aging process. I don't have a date where I would leave. But if I was asked if I wanted eternal life or infinite life without the possibility of not being able to think myself out of existence, I would struggle. But I think I would have chosen life actually and not death, even then. But it would be a hard bargain not to be able to think yourself out of existence. Now this is a digression, of course, but these are the things I think about when I paint and while I live, basically every day. So that is why my life is quite intense. My brain is quite intense, quite manic, yeah. There was a funny episode, you know, that girl, Amalia, as her name is. She told me in the beginning, when I was out, that she was gonna write 100 reasons why she liked me. And a funny thing, she said like, because she didn't say love, because it was kind of early. And I said, you must be joking. I said, 100? And you know what she did? She actually wrote down 100 reasons why she loves me or likes me or whatever. And she's such a sweetheart. And it's not because of this, of course, but it's like who does that? You can actually come up with that shit, you know. And she's such a beautiful girl. So yeah. And person. Yeah. Anyway, so that was what happened. It's a mixed bag. It didn't turn out like I thought. I didn't think I was going to have a relationship. I wasn't thinking that I would have problems focusing. Wouldn't think that I would have to go through all this again, because I thought I was finished with it in there, but then I have to kind of go through it again. I have to kind of lose the control and find the control again, if you know what I mean. So with this, it was 25 minutes, soon to be 26. I hope it was, maybe for the few of you who actually like my stuff, maybe this was informative. If you're ever going to jail or something, focus on exercise, try to get good food and do some creative work. It's the best thing you can do. Use it the best you can, and hopefully it would make you a better person, like it did with me. It made me a better person. So yeah, the whole process, since the police come knocking on my door, because I had rebuilt a lot of replica guns, as you maybe saw in the first video, which I will also link to in the description, and you will see it in, you know, these videos popping up. So it actually took 3 years to be finished with, to getting out of there, and then another year to adjust to the new situation. And it's weird. The whole thing is just weird. But then again, life is weird. So with this, I'm gonna make another video next year and see what happens. Okay, have a good one. Remember, thumbs up, leave a comment, watch my videos. I need actually right now, I need 500 hours of view time to get monetized again. So binge watch and put them on even if you don't watch. And of course, check out my Patreon if you want to. So I see you in the next video, or next year, or next this, or next that, or whatever. So have a good one.